funeral of the young Chicano, you know, who had gone to war.
Played by Salminio.
Yes, Salminio. And it's, you know, his son doesn't go to war, but the foreman's son goes to war, and he comes back and he gives him the flag. He brings the flag. So I thought that was very, you know, sort of very Tejano in a way of what a lot of Tejano families did. And then the very end of the movie, the two kids in the cradle, yeah, predicting the future. I mean,
very symbolic, yeah.
Very symbolic.
That's why I said that it's probably 1950. We see those of you who know anything about cars, they tell me that the 49 Ford and the 50 Ford look very close, very similar, except for some feature in the hood or something. Yeah. So I can't tell. I think it's symbolic 1950. Old Texas and the new Texas, no? Where you can have a mixed marriage, because before that, Anglos and Chicanos practically, the marriage between Mexican Americans and Anglo Americans was practically nil. Okay, things have changed, of course. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very, very symbolic scene. The very last one.
Exactly.
I was surprised when you mentioned Dylan Thomas, because in English, I got stuck with that poet. And, yeah, but because what she wanted was for us to find something like end rhyme or like structure, and it was kind of difficult for me because I kept looking for end rhyme, and
no,
you really couldn't find it.
Sometimes he's working with cross rhyme. You see, Dylan Thomas is from Wales, so Welsh, the Welsh culture is not British culture. He's not from London. He's from the hill.
He's from the hill.
Yeah, from the hill country. Yeah, yeah. Es de provincia, ¿no? Es del rancho. Yeah. So you want to make it in London? You want to make it as an English language poet in the UK, in the United Kingdom? You go to London. You're born in in Sevilla, or so. You want to make it big as a writer? You go to Madrid or Barcelona, where the publishing houses are. Yeah. So he's working. He's got knowledge of Welsh poetry. So he's using sometimes cross rhyme. Very interesting cross rhyme. Yeah. He's very crafty. He's very crafty.
Yeah, his poems are really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard him read?
No.
Check out his record. Yeah, the CD. The album.
They know what you mean.
You know how sometimes your poems are in Spanish, and you know Spanish has like a different meaning sometimes with their words. When your poems are being translated to English, do you feel like it loses meaning?
All translations, get lost. Things get lost in translation, as they say. I call it transcreation. You know, there's a poem here. This is the Spanish version. It's a bilingual. I have a translator. And there's one particular poem toward the end where I don't mention the movie anymore. Actually, in this one I do, but in the next two I don't. It's about memory. Again, it ends with memory and the importance of memory and writing. Okay, but the third from the end, I'm trying to mention how I'm writing the poems, and I'm trying to show craft and so forth. And toward the end of this poem, it says that I went to see the movie, it came out, and so forth. And this memory, it arose in language, the legitimate deduction of the years thought out. Now I am, he said, now I am because I write. I know it in my heart, and I know it in the sound iambics of my fist that mark across the paper with the sun's exacting rays. Now, I mentioned here iambics. The iambic this sound in English is so basic to English, to be or not to be. Okay, let's call it an iambic foot. Okay, so I have 19 iambics here, but I never read it that way because it gets very singy-songy. Suena muy cantarín, no? Very singy-songy. But it starts like this, look, if I were to do it this way. Now, I am because I write, I know it in my heart, and know it in the sound iambics of my fist that mark across the paper with the sun's exacting rays. Okay, there are 19 feet like that. Now, this is going to get lost in the translation. So, Rafael, my translator, the translator comes with tricks. You know? You got to have some tricks. is to replace what gets lost with something else that's poetic, okay? So what he did was to put, I think he said 16 S sounds. Ahora soy porque escribo, lo sé en mi corazón y lo sé por los firmes iámbicos de mi puño que marcan el paso por encima del papel con los precisos rayos del sol, okay? So that was his way of there's no way you can do that in Spanish, you know, because the Spanish words are accented differently, so it's impossible. So the trick of the translator is to come back and insert something to make it sound poetic in this other language. Yeah, that's another that's another kettle of fish. Yeah, that's a whole different issue. Translation, it's an art. Yeah.
One last question because of timing.
Nos vamos.
Una última.
Oh, yeah. Comment or a question, please.
I just think that
Sí.
I really like your poems. I don't know, I've never really read them. I've never actually heard somebody actually read them to me in Spanish, so I really like that.
Well, when I was an undergraduate, we had several readers that the English department brought in, creative writing group, and they made writing sound like it was something esoteric, like something only they could do. And anyone can if you apply yourself. It takes time. Like I said, I go through a lot of drafts. It's just a lot of dedication of time, reading, rereading. I don't like it. Yes, I like it. No, I'm going to change it. You know, and then the next day you try it again and so forth. If that's what you want to do, that's, you know, you got to dedicate some time to it. Yeah, you don't write them overnight.
Do you have that poem, the zoo?
Which one?
Zoo, el zoo. Cuando van al Zócalo.
No, that's the Pachuco. That's from my first book. How do you know that one? Pachuco. Aquellos vatos.
Sí.
Simón, we knew him as La Zorra, uncouth but squared away. Messed around unpaved streets. No different from El Caballo de Littlefield or from La Chiva de McAllen, who never let himself down. Always had a movida chueca somewhere uptown. Then there was La Polla de San Anto, lived across the creek y tenía un ranfle sentado para atrás, ¿me entiendes? En el Pato de Nukis, from New Braunfels, y en el Pato de Nukis, el que se la madereaba. And La Rata was already growing a moustache at early 10.
Oh.
El conejo estaba todo locote. Era más largo que no sé qué. Had rucas all over the place, man. Not even Don Juan carried a rabbit's foot. El bear se salía del cuadro. He was forever polishing his cat paws double-soled hechonas, and heterosexual La Perra used to snicker and warn in Spanish, "You keep bending down like that, bear, and you'll wind up in Dallas." Chale, I don't recall El Tiger. They tell me he was a chavalón que se curaba con las gavas. I do remember El Gorrión, un carnal a todo dar. Never said much, but his tattoos were sure a conversation piece. A la burra? Qué gacho, le filorearon la madre del chancleo. I didn't think that was funny, but it is funny. A la burra, qué gacho, le filorearon la madre del chancleo. And El Canario went to the pinta for it. Not to sing, but the State Farm is just as bad. La Palomilla hasn't been the same since. They're married, they're probably married by now, those cats. And their kids try to comprehend culture and identity by reading C-Spot Run, and by going to the zoo on a Greyhound bus with Miss Fox.